It is time for a poorly lit writing update, because that is what this month is all about. Today is the 16th of November. Yesterday I couldn't bring myself to put a camera on my face. I did a 45-minute sprint and a 50-minute sprint and managed about 4,300 words. So my words per minute average has not been particularly great this book. That was yesterday, so that was Sunday. Today, Monday, I woke up a lot later than I was planning. I finished work and then I had to have a quick little meeting with some people that I used to work with, because there was some information that they weren't entirely clear on, so I helped them out a bit with the kind of adding to the handover. So after I had that meeting, I had a little bit of decompression time, watched some YouTube and just kind of chilled for a bit, and then made some dinner and then finished that off, and then attempted some writing. I say attempted because I found one of the videos that does 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off, and I was like, what would be really, really good is if I just do 2 50-minute sprints. That would be ideal. And I sat down to write the first one and I found myself being so distracted. Part of it might be that my current headphones are not particularly like noise cancelling and my partner's doing an online game. Probably could have done better if I wasn't in that room, but the rest of the flat has turned into the mid-November, mid-NaNoWriMo mess that it always seems to end up being. So there isn't any other particular room that I feel better in. My desk in there now is really well set up and it's tidy. So if I can't write in there, probably not going to go well anywhere else. I managed to do 44 minutes of writing, but they were in small sprints. This feels more like the way my brain was working probably July, August, where I could sit down and write, I could do a 10-minute sprint, then I'd be over it. So I managed to eke out 44 minutes from my soul for a total of 1,718 words, which is not bad at all. It's still over the NaNoWriMo goal. I was just hoping for a little bit more, purely because I didn't do enough last week to hit the 10 hours of writing I was planning to. I hit 2 hours of outlining, I got that done, but I didn't manage to hit all of the writing that I wanted to do. So this week I need to do 11 hours of writing and 2 hours of outlining, and I've put extra hours in next week, so next week's 10 hours of writing and 4 hours of outlining. And this is all on assumptions. All of my booking in time is based on the idea that I do at a minimum 40 words per minute for 40 minutes to count as an hour. And the last 2 sprints I attempted, one of them was 39 words per minute and one of them was 35. I haven't had a 35 words per minute sprint in a long time. It feels really weird to have been struggling as much as I was today. I feel like the kind of mood I was in most cases I would have not wrote today. I would have gone, no, screw it, I'm turning on The Sims and I'm not bothering. So I feel kind of good that I managed it. It's just not ideal. I didn't really want to come on camera today either. I definitely didn't want to do it yesterday. I worked myself into a little bit of a bad mood hole last night. Did some writing and then I got to like 4 and I messaged my partner because he was in a call with some friends, so I just Discorded him. I realised that I'd hit my complete midpoint, so I was halfway through the book, which means I think this book might be 60k, kind of excited, and that I had got over 150,000 in Milwordy. And I messaged him that and he cheered me on and I felt really, really good. And then like 20 minutes later, I started looking at my Milwordy stats and going, yes, you did 150,000. But that isn't what you should have been aiming for. My brain was doing this wonderful little loop of, it's good, but it's not enough to hit the million. And I keep trying to tell myself that the whole point of this is I can draft through and it will be slower and it will look like I'm not going to hit it. But then if I can reread with some decent speed, which I think I can definitely hit it. But my brain yesterday was saying, you're not where you should be. You're going to burn out. You'll miss one of these drafting months, and if you miss one of these drafting months, it's over. And it was a fun little spiral to be in. Yes, that wasn't ideal yesterday, and then I just couldn't bring myself to put on a camera and try and talk about it. But today, I'm being a bit more mature about it, if I'm honest. I know right now that I am 50,000 words behind, and to be 50,000 words behind 3 months into this is terrifying, and I think that is going to keep happening because I'm doing this particular plan. Now, what I can't work out is whether I'm burning out because I'm trying to write too much too quickly and my brain is just not going to handle the million words and really I need to just pull back from it all. Or if my brain is spiraling out because on the current average I'm not going to hit it, and there's a part of me that's really worried again, like I said earlier, that idea that if I drop a month, if something goes wrong, it's over. I don't know whether this is a feasible option or whether I'm going to regret even attempting something like this. But next month I might try and write the next draft of the book for the series, outline the next book after that, and reread through my standalone, making some notes. Might regret saying this out loud. What it will do is it will take a 50,000 word chunk and put that into December, because the first draft of the standalone that I kind of want to reread through and see where I was with it was a NaNoWriMo, so it's literally just over the 50,000 to get me past the goal. I could theoretically pare back other goals next month to like absolute minimum. I might have to accept that this year, 2020, has been shit. And that my yearly goals are not necessarily achievable in the next month. Some of the goals I've managed to smash. Like my goal this year was to read 12 books. I'm on course to hit 50, and that's purely because I have spent a lot of time during the lockdowns and the quarantines and all of that stuff with audiobooks in my ears, because it's got me away from the actual world. But for like a lot of my health goals were around the concept of going to the gym and learning to do a pull-up and things that I couldn't do at home. And I adapted it and I tried to make it work, but maybe I just need to accept, I think, that this year's been shit. And if I genuinely accepted where all my other goals, except for writing, where they were at the end of November, and basically decide whether I'm happy that that goal is either met, exceeded, or it ain't gonna happen, I could literally make next month entirely about writing, which would allow me to bring in that reread. And then if I can make notes on it while I'm rereading it through and keep track of how many words those are, then theoretically, if I don't burn myself out, if I'm not completely burnt out by the time I get there, then theoretically I would have at least closed up the gap that there would have been by the end of this month, or got close to closing the gap, because if I don't hit 80,000 in the current drafts this month, I will probably be more than 50,000 away. But I'm trying to be cautious. I'm trying to think through what I think will be my reaction next month. Because if this is me reacting to having too much on my plate, and the fact that this is just not necessarily a goal that I'm going to be able to hit, throwing a reread into a busy month with other writing stuff is probably not going to fix it. And I have started brain dumping some ideas for 2021 planning, but what I'm trying to do is be a little bit nicer to myself with what I'm setting myself. So again, writing is my big goal, writing is my put everything in the bucket goal, but I'm also making a point to sort of put in a goal of having a purely self-care recharge day once a month, to allow myself to sit in front of the TV if I want to go out and walk around the town or do something, or go somewhere on my own if I wanted to. Something that is not planned in, that is entirely for me, rather than when I gave myself some dumb goals this year, like learn a language. What constitutes having learned a language? When is my end point in this? Is it when you've mastered a Duolingo thing? Is it when you're able to have a conversation with a speaker? Is it when you feel like you've got the basics of the syntax down and you can just add words? I'm trying to give myself time-based goals next year. So some of them is like, by the end of the year I want to be doing it fortnightly, whatever goal it is, so I can build myself up to that. A certain number of hours over the year that I want to practice my Python coding, and then a certain number of hours over the year to do some Norwegian learning, so that I can space that out. I think I have to start allowing myself to write goals down that I think I can smash, rather than goals that I think are challenging me, because I love goals that can challenge me. I love doing things and smashing through them, and they're really difficult things. But I'm the kind of person who sets myself challenging goals in 6, 7, maybe 8 different areas of my life. Hang on, let me count how many are in next year's one already. I have put down 11 categories for next year's goals. That's categories. Within that is at least one goal, more often than not, more than one goal. So that's fun. And the things I know when I'm putting it down, a lot of these things are things that are intended to be good for me. Like I want to I want to learn to meditate a certain number of days a week. I want to learn to work out a certain number of days of the week. I want to build up that kind of healthy routine. I want to give myself days where I can just do what I want to do. I want to build things and make things. And I think what I need at some point, either this week or at the latest next week, is take an hour aside and look at my 2020 goals, work out what is still potentially achievable, what is definitely not achievable, and deal with that. And then if I have any goals that are still achievable, like I think I can read 50 books this year because I'm about to finish another one, and I think that puts me very, very close. If I'm aiming for 50 books, so at the beginning of the year I said to myself I wanted to read 12 books or a book a month, and at the moment I'm at 48 books, and if I wanted to hit 50, which I think would be awesome, I only got to do 2 books. And I'm like an hour away from finishing David Copperfield on my audiobook. And then I've downloaded the fourth book in the series Unfortunate Events series. That felt weird to say out loud. And they're only like 4 or 5 hours long. So I could definitely hit that. I could maybe exceed it by even more if I wanted to. There we go. That's the problem. My brain's like, so you could finish that this week. You could hit the 50. Then in December how many books could we read? No. If anybody has any way of genuinely turning your brain off from the need to be productive at all possible moments, I'd love to hear it, because I just can't do it. All this to say, I might be breaking myself. It's just so ridiculous. But then, like, if next month I could be drafting, outlining, rereading and making notes, that gives me essentially 3 different tasks that I can vary so that days like today, when I cannot stand the idea of drafting, I've got something else I can do. There's also a part of me that's thinking, if I'm feeling like I am right now on Monday, it's not going to get better this week, is it? It could also be, as I said in my last video, I'm at a new job, I'm learning a lot of things. It could just be that my brain is struggling to process everything, and the writing is just part of that. Self-doubt is something that I have been really attempting to battle with the last 2 years. When I started really goal setting and really trying to aim for things, because before that I would write in a NaNoWriMo and then maybe I'd occasionally write in the year, but not really, or I'd occasionally play some piano but not really doing anything with it. And then I started really trying to sit down and plan out goals and trying to hit things, and I've got myself into this complete loop where if I'm not being productive, if I'm not ticking things off of a to-do list, I'm freaking out. And that isn't healthy. It's mad. And then, like, I'll talk to people about their, like, weekends or what they've been doing, and their life is so much chiller. They go out and they do things. They spend time with people. They aren't obsessed with the idea that they have to hit a 12-hour writing work week on top of everything else that they do. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days for self-doubt, and I think some of it's come from the fact that, like, September and October, while I wasn't consistent with the writing, I had some really, really big writing days, and I definitely did in the first week of NaNoWriMo, but I think a part of me was expecting to be able to keep that up indefinitely for every weekend, and it's just not going to happen. It was never going to happen. I'm pretty sure I said it during some of them that this is not necessarily a sustainable way of doing it. I'm going to spend some time really looking at my goals and seeing what I can get away with not doing in December. Start thinking about Christmas planning, because that needs to happen soon. I need to be prepared, otherwise I'm going to fall flat next month. And then next month's writing will be entirely based on that. If I've still got a bunch of things I want to try and do, then the writing is going to have to just carry on with the pattern it's doing. If there's anything I need to pick up from this month, that's going to have to happen next month. But if I can pare back my goals a bit, hopefully quite a bit, and then next month I could draft, outline and reread different projects, that could potentially help me get into January feeling a little bit better about where I am. Probably not extensively feeling better about where I am, because that isn't what my brain is here to do at the moment, but it would maybe give me a chance to see whether this feeling is burnout just because I've been doing too much, or fear that I'm not doing enough. We're going to boil it down. For context, this particular clip so far has been running for 43 minutes. And I'm just rambling. I'm just sitting here like this is a therapy session. Tell you what I'm going to do. This is a terrible idea because it's 9:30 at night. I'm going to go and make myself some bananas and custard. I'm going to sit at my computer and I'm going to look through my 2020 goals. I'm going to decide that on at least 5 that I can say are either completed or failed. I'm going to take 5 things off my list for next month. I'm going to prepare myself for 5 items of potentially disappointment next month, at the end of next month, when I look back at the year. But as I'm sure we can all attest to, this year's just been shit. It's just been shit. Now, obviously, my 2020 has not been anywhere near as bad as some other people's. I absolutely 100% agree with that. But it's been rubbish for everybody, and trying to hold myself to a certain standard during everything that's happening in the world, it's just not worth it. Okay, so that's the plan. Gonna go do that. That's it. I'm done. I'm going. It is Saturday the 21st of November. I think I only updated this vlog on Monday, but I did do a couple of writing sprints in the week. What I need to do really for this weekend is 7 hours of writing. How do I keep ending up here? Yeah, 7 hours of writing and 2 hours of outlining. I'm not necessarily gonna assume that I'm gonna be able to smash through 9 hours of work today. I need to be somewhat nice to myself about it, so we're gonna see how it goes, but I would like to get in a couple of hours at least, and I might just have to accept that this week is gonna fall short again like I did last week, which is why I spent so much time on the first week and why I did so many words the first week. But it would be nice to finish this draft this month. If nothing else, for the fact that it would be nice to finish while I feel like this. So while I feel like I might be getting a bit burnt out, I think I might end up with like some more positive thoughts at the end of the month if I've finished everything I aimed for. But we shall see. I'm gonna try and start with the 50-minute sprints. If they are too much, I will try some 40-minute sprints, and if they're too much, I will try and watch some old Kate Kavanagh live streams where she was doing Pomodoros. That'll be like 25 minutes, which will still get me the idea of 50 in an hour, but it feels like a lot less of a task to sit down and do. So if I feel like the 50 minutes are working, that would be ideal, but I've got a plan for if my brain tries to rebel a bit against it. Okay, so it is still Saturday the 21st of November. It is about 3 o'clock. So far, I've done about an hour and a half. It has not gone particularly well. It's just been a rubbish week for the way my brain's been working, so I feel a little bit... How do I feel? I feel bad I haven't hit as many sprints as I would have wanted to. What I have done is I've walked down to the shop because I think I needed to just get out of the house for a bit, and I've picked up a big bottle of Dr. Pepper Zero and a tub of Halo Top ice cream, I think it is, which is the slightly healthier ice cream. Probably got a lot of stuff in it that isn't healthier for me, but it was better than what I was going to go down and get, so progress. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch gear slightly. Rather than focusing on the writing, I think I'm going to start looking at the outlining. I'm going to put something on the TV and I'm just going to see how long I can go for outlining the next book, because the writing isn't working. It feels weird. It's like some of the scenes that I've written so far today have really worked. I've kind of got into the world, and then as soon as I've switched to another scene, I've come straight back out of it again. I'm not sticking around anywhere, so it isn't particularly working for me today, and I think rather than pushing myself, I might have to accept that. What I might do for this vlog, I might continue this vlog until tomorrow, the Sundays, and I'm just gonna have to see how I'm doing with time. According to my spreadsheet, I've got roughly 10.5 hours left to go. Even if I don't hit the full 11 hours, so I don't do another, I think I'm 5.5 away. So if I did another 5 this weekend, I won't need the full amount of hours that I've put in next week. And I think that is something potentially that if I don't need to use all the time, then next week doesn't become quite so horrendous. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I've got I think it's like another 20 chapters to do. And my chapters are usually somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000. Some of them are a lot lower than that, to be fair, because I underwrite. So sometimes the scenes are bare bones 300 words. And that 10.5 hour average is based on the idea that it comes out at 65k, which it might not. It might come out higher, it might come out lower. I'm getting to the point where with my tracking I can kind of assume certain things, and I'm usually overestimating rather than underestimating time. But I'm I'm always open to being surprised by this. I should definitely hit Nano though, because I'm on like 45,000. So what I might try and do, depending on how much more I can get done today in the actual story, which I don't think will be a lot, I might try and do a 5k day tomorrow, which is only about 2.5 hours, which would leave me with it would leave me with 3 hours left for the week that I would put onto next week, but I don't think I would need all the time that I would then be giving myself next week. But this would be by far the earliest I've ever won Nano. So that would be something. I also don't want to talk too much on here because Monday was a therapy session of a clip, and editing back the amount of self-doubt that was so evident in that conversation with myself was not fun. I'm going to try not to do that again. I'm going to put something on the TV. It's probably going to be Bones, if I'm honest, and try and do some maybe brainstorming outliney bits and pieces.
Oh, congratulations, Niki, for winning Nano in that last sprint.
I'm going to pull it up so we can all celebrate. Everybody congratulate Niki.
Round of applause.
I'm jealous, but it's great.
So please ignore the hair. I'm a little bit of a mess today. It is Sunday the 22nd of November, and I've done it. I've hit the 50,000 words. I checked through my stats yesterday. I have never won NaNoWriMo this early before. The earliest I've done is like the 28th of the month, so this is insane. I feel like it's one of those things as well, I probably shouldn't be this surprised by it, because last month and the month before I was writing more than 50,000 words, but I still feel a bit surprised by it. This might be as a good time to end to do like a little update, because I'm probably not going to do huge amounts more. I have finished this week at 50,101 words. Really, really interestingly, the last sprint, almost as if I knew it was just to get over the edge, over the finish line, I did 56 words per minute. I am nowhere near the end of the book. I am on chapter 35 and I have 49 chapters planned out. There's already a bunch of stuff where I've been looking at it and realising I need to rearrange some of the timeline, but that can all be done in editing. I'm making a load of editing notes as I go. Okay, so the last the difference between my lengths of chapters now is getting a bit mad. So chapter 34 was 1,400 words long. Chapter 33 was 500 words long. And 32 was like 1,000 words long. So I cannot at the moment make a proper estimate of how long this book's gonna be. If theoretically I averaged 1,000 words per chapter, which I know doesn't happen so much in my third act, which I'm not even into yet, but I know I tend to sort of speed up and it's a lot more kind of, the finale for me always ends up being a little bit more fast paced in the first drafts or the zero drafts. But even then, if I averaged about 1,000 words per chapter, I'd still have about 15k to go, which I think is about what I've been thinking. It's like 65k to finish this draft off would be fine. I have got on my Dabble app the goal currently to 60k, and I don't think that'll be enough. I genuinely, the way I've been this week, I was not expecting to actually finish it this weekend. But yesterday night, I did a sprint in the morning and then I kind of had a little bit of a panic. And then I did a sprint in the afternoon, but it was only like 15 minutes and it wasn't particularly great. And then in the evening, after I'd done my family call that we always do on a Saturday, I kind of had this little urge to do some writing. And what I did, instead of giving myself a countdown timer, I just put a stopwatch on and just wrote. And I'm wondering if when I'm in the kind of mood I've been this week, whether that would be a better approach, just writing until I can't write anymore, rather than having something up on a screen that is literally showing me how much more I've got to write for, and seeing a 20-minute timer ticking down might be more pressure than looking at a stopwatch thing and going, oh, I've done a whole 7 minutes, that's cool, rather than I've got 13 left to do. That might be it for this week. So I've recorded a little bit of a clip earlier because I was on Page Nomad's live streams, and Cam was doing a whole 10 hours of writing today, and I managed to finish NaNoWriMo on a stream, which I don't think I've ever done before. That was really good, and to get like a little bit of congratulations from people was fun. So I might maybe later jump back in and maybe do a couple of bits more, but I'm not going to expect myself to, because I wasn't expecting to do as well over the last 2 days as I did. I've done about 3,300 today, and I'm gonna take that. So ideally, if I've got 15k left to write and I've got just over a week So it's just over 2k a day, which I think I can do, or this weekend becomes a sprint to the finish, which I don't like the idea of, but I'm not gonna be able to prevent it if the week goes poorly again. And some outlining, which I did some outlining yesterday when I couldn't face doing any more writing. I think I should do that more often, just allowing myself things that are writing related but they're a bit more relaxed. I need to think of more things like that. So that's the update for week 3. Oh, my hair is an absolute state. Yeah, that's attractive. I washed it yesterday, so it's all big and fluffy and horrible. End of week 3, I have hit the 50,000 words for NaNoWriMo. I need to keep writing and try and finish this draft by the end of the month if I can, so that next month I can start getting on with the next book. Next week, when I kind of round the month off, I'll give a full mill-wordy update on where I am. End of week 3, NaNoWriMo is done for me, although I'm going to continue and I might try and update the website as well with it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week, hopefully in a slightly better mood. We shall see.